Today I'm going to go through some of the items that I'll be looking at for 13.2 for the static site editor group. My name is Michael Lee and I'm the senior product designer on the team. So in 13.1, we added this maintained by section in the handbook. And in this next milestone, we're going to iterate on adding more functionality to the handbook page by reconsidering where we put these edit and OpenIDE page, links on the page. So there's an issue here to suggest moving it to the top of the handbook pages. And this issue has been on the docket for almost a year now. And there'll be a little bit of exploration on the design and then the implementation of that. So we're looking at making it easier for people to contribute by making the links to suggest and change easier and more visible. In the world of the static site editor, we're iterating on what this screen looks like. So we're experimenting with simplifying the information that's on the screen so that it's more helpful. So it gives you a description of things that you can do, and just clicking on this link will take you to viewing the merge request. We're removing some of the information that was there originally, such as the branch name and the commit ID that we don't really need at this moment. But if you really want that information, you can jump into the merge request and view that. One of the big things in 13.1 that the engineering team worked on was actually researching on how we were going to parse the markdown file to separate it into nodes between content that is renderable as markdown content, such as headings and paragraphs and links and lists, things that you're commonly used to, versus other content such as mermaid diagrams, embeds, codes. So the team's done a lot of work in the background to understand the problem, and in this milestone we're going to take a look at displaying some of this content. Our first step is to just display it as code blocks, but over time this might provide the foundation for custom renderers for different types of content. And then the part on the product and design side is actually doing more validation on the future direction of the static site editor. So during this milestone, we're going to start taking a look at doing research around validating the publishing flow for static site editing. So where the idea of the static site editor is that it's a publishing workflow on top of a Git framework. And we are going to experiment and test to see what flow makes the most sense for the mental models of a content editor on top of like a Git-based repository. The next one we're going to look at is the editing experience itself. So there's lots of editors out there, such as like WordPress and Tina CMS, Notion, Dropbox Paper, that kind of blend the two worlds of Markdown and block editing. And we want to see, for a direction for our static site editor, what makes the most sense, and in long term, more kind of a long-term vision so that we can make more informed MVC steps in the upcoming milestones. And one of the stretch things that we're going to be looking at is thinking about editing opportunities beyond the handbook, because editing markdown content on top of a Git repository is not 100% unique to editing the handbook. So we don't want to box ourselves too much in a hole. So as a stretch goal for this milestone is starting to explore thinking around what other areas, such as editing issue descriptions, could that be something where the static site editor makes sense, or should we focus on the gaps in the market of static site editing and publishing? So this is more of a product strategy kind of high level thinking that that I'm working very closely with the product manager and UX researcher on trying to shape this out a bit over the next few weeks. So in a whole nutshell, that's it for the static site editor for 13.2, and hope to see you next milestone.